Hello everyone, this is Garrity Toncourt from MoreThanASnapshot.com. Today we're going to look at some images from our monthly photo contest. This contest theme was spring, and we have some great images to look at, and we might as well just get right to it. Alright, so here we'll have the first one, nice flower image. Macro shots can be tough because of limited depth of field. This one was handled nicely, it's in focus, and the depth of field looks good. It's a nice flower shot. To me, it feels like it should be a vertical shot. I don't know if it uploaded wrong or something, but it sort of feels like it should be a vertical. The exposure on the flower looks good, and you do have stuff in the background is out of focus, but unfortunately you got some bright spots back here, like this grass and this grass here. With a little bit of cloning, you could probably clean that up and it would be a little bit less distracting. A little darkening, a little blurring, or a little cloning. Anything to make that area less noticeable. But other than that, it is a nice image. Alright, we'll go on to this one. This one is a very nice idea. Great subject for showing the transition between seasons from winter to spring. We have the spring flower coming up, fighting the elements of late winter storm. So it's a great storytelling image, but unfortunately the lighting was not working in your favor. It's sort of very dull because there was no light really hitting the subject. So in a case like this, you'd have to bring in your own light, either reflectors or flashes, or do something to amp up that impact. I think I would also crop this one into a vertical. A lot of this stuff outside of this main rectangle I don't think is really adding to the story, and you may even consider cloning out this little leaf and this thing in the background as well. Now this image I really liked. It's great anytime you can capture wildlife in nature like this. It's the hardest thing to do because just finding the wildlife is difficult, and being fast enough to capture them before they run away, you get all the credit for that. And you also caught a nice expression. You're nice and close. But there are some quality issues, and it could be because there wasn't a whole lot of light and maybe you had to go to a higher ISO, but you can see a lot of, I don't know if it's a little bit of noise, or maybe it's that you had to crop so much into this image. Sometimes having to crop a lot, takes away some of the quality. But either the noise or the extreme crop is hurting this image a little bit, but the fox is nice and sharp. There's a nice catch light in the eye. So most of it is great, and there's a little stick here, but you know what, when you're shooting in the woods like this, these things happen. You try to avoid it, but I think it's a great shot. Just technically, it's not going to be good enough to beat some of the other images here today, but I really like it. Also, you mentioned it had a resizing problem in Photoshop, and if I can make a video about that later, I will. The loss of quality may not have been from the resizing. It may have just been from, the extreme crop. Alright, here we have a nice bird image. It's interesting because the bird is nice and fluffy, and the feathers are nice and sharp. You can see all that feather detail there, and the white is exposed nicely. It's not overexposed. And the background looks nice and clean. A lot of things that are really great about this image. I would probably, though, do a little bit of cropping. Probably would crop off this bottom stick, everything under the bird's foot here. And I would probably clone out any of these sticks that were in the way. And I'd probably clone out this stick right here, and it would make for a much more simple and effective image. Everything is sharp, but I think that also the bird turns so much to the side that the beak may be starting to go out of focus. So it would have been helpful maybe if the bird's head was a little more facing the photographer, so we see a little more of the eye. But a good job. I like this image a lot too. I think it may need a crop. It's got a little bit too much of extra space that's not doing anything. The main center of interest is this flower here, so a tighter crop on that flower. But the exposure and the sharpness look good, and I do really like the out of focus area, so you might keep some of that, but you certainly don't need as much of it as you have. And I think maybe that the front out of focus area is a little bit distracting, so I might come in on this side, cropping to that sort of rectangle. And then my choice for the winner is this image of a close-up shot of the flowers. It's really nice and sharp, great detail, and I really like the out of focus areas. It's not distracting. It adds a nice background for this image. It looks really well done. There is a lot of it. This could benefit from a little bit of a crop as well, but overall it's a pleasing image anyway. So congratulations. I think this was a great image, and hopefully we'll see you all in next month's contest. Again, this has been Gary D. Tonicourt from MoreThanASnapshot.com.